Welcome to Stillness and Success. I'm your host, Mustafa Nuristani. And today I've got a very interesting international guest. He is from Rome, Italy, the place that I really fell in love with when I was in Italy. And, I have such great memories of that place. And now I get to meet and talk to this wonderful human being who is a director in his field, and he's going to tell us more about his journey there. Let's say hi to Lorenzo Chiesa. How are you?
Hello, Mustafa. I'm fine. Thank you for having me on your podcast.
It's nice. Thank you for being on the podcast. It's nice to have you here. So tell me, you're from Rome, Italy.
Yes, correct.
You were born there and you live there.
I've been born there, but then I lived 2 years in Moscow when I was a kid. Then I came back to Rome, and then I lived again in Moscow 2 more times. But now I live in Rome again. So
Beautiful.
I have this close relationship with Russia.
Nice.
Yes.
And do you speak Russian?
I speak fluently Russian.
That's excellent. So you speak Italian, English, and Russian?
Yes, but
All
I
right.
don't speak Hindi like you. Yeah.
It's okay. Now, Hindi will come. And because when you have 2-3 languages, the fourth one is just easy. It just comes by like that.
Yeah.
So now, tell me, what do you do? What field are you in?
I'm project director in a company that was founded by my friend, which is in the distribution industry.
Mm-hmm. And what does your job entail? What does that mean, project director?
It means that I have to coordinate the whole team that is around this project, and I have to speak with people. I have to interact. I have to create contracts. I have to. It's basically sales on a glorified level. I'm doing sales, but instead of selling to small people, I'm selling to other directors of other endeavors, clubs, restaurants, etc.
Okay. So it sounds like a big role that you are fulfilling. And when you are doing that, you also have your own publishing house.
Yes, I have my own publishing business that started because my father was a greatly renowned journalist in Italy, regarded as one of the greatest journalists actually in the whole world. From what I've heard, it's not
Wow.
in my words, but it's in the words of his followers and fans. And still, after 5 years after his passing, there is a great number of people that are interested in reading his books. He wrote 30 books in his lifetime, and it was very difficult to find some of those books because the contracts are closed after many years with the publishing houses. And so I started seeing online that a lot of these books were selling for 300, 400 euros, used, very used. So people were passing them like they were some, holy grails. And they're actually great books. I've read a lot of them. They are
Not all of them?
Not all of them. Yeah, I will be truthful.
It's good to be truthful, but
Yeah.
what about your father? What is he going to think? You haven't read all of his books yet.
I mean,
And it's just 30. And how old are you? 29. So if you're 29, you should be able to read 30 books. One a year?
Yeah. I mean, I should have, but I will do it step by step when I'm republishing them all. It's much more interesting like this because whenever I republish a new one, I can read it. Maybe someone I'm reading again, someone I'm reading for the first time. I'll tell you a fun story. I was in Greece a few years back, and I opened the book of my father's, which is one of my favorites. It's about the G8. In Italy in 2001, there was a big manifestation for the G8, the summit of all the governments when Russia was still in at the time. And there was a big manifestation where people threw rocks and a guy was actually also killed. They shot him. And my father was inside and he saw everything happen under his eyes. He knew the city of Genoa very well. And this book is more like it's a story. It's not a book about geopolitics. It's so interesting. And when I opened it for the first time, I never read it before. I see that it was dedicated to me, to my son Lorenzo, and I cried because I didn't know that, and a lot of these books are dedicated to me.
So maybe it's time you read them.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, and I will.
Then you'll be pleasantly surprised, and then you won't have to cry so much. Your father loved you.
Yeah.
That's what dads do. They really, as soon as when I had my first child, it's so different. Life is completely different, Lorenzo, because you're living your life and you're dedicating yourself to your passion, and you're just going like that, like that, like that. And then all of a sudden, this baby appears in your life. And it's something internal that changes. And you just feel, yeah, I'm really passionate about these things that I need to do, and I need to continue doing them. But all of a sudden, your priorities of yourself, like, getting a massage or, like going to the barber, or, like that. Those things are so secondary. They're like, oh, I used to go to a really nice salon to get like all pampered.
Yeah.
And now I just go to the next door guy, he just cuts my hair. I'm like, it's good enough. It's good enough, because your priorities are so different. You just want to make sure that your son is happy and your son is fulfilled.
Yeah.
And your father, he was like, how am I going to create this experience of fulfillment for him, even if I'm not here? So he dedicates his books to you.
Yeah, that's absolutely amazing. As you say, it's probably, I don't have children, so I cannot relate to this experience, but I can understand, because my father didn't want kids until he was 57. I was born when he was 57.
Wow.
And it happened because my mother changed her mind at the last moment that she wanted kids, and so they had me. And she told me that as soon as he took me in his hands, he said, "Let's make another one." And my mother said, "No, no, wait a second. I just gave you this. Like, give me a break." So yeah.
And did they? Do you have a
No,
sibling?
I don't.
Oh, you're
They
the
asked
only
me-
child.
They asked me when I was 5 or 6, and I said, "No way. I don't want to share anything."
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I was pretty selfish kid. Probably.
Oh, no, but the kids is just intuitively, you knew that you weren't
Yeah.
going to have a sibling, so you just were really strong about
Yeah.
it. But it's fine. And that's a really beautiful little story that your father fell in love with you as soon as he saw you. And you just don't know what to do to make sure this thing is comfortable. And even though the baby is comfortable, I remember the first night I did not sleep at all. I was just completely awake. Like I was just lying with my eyes closed, but I was completely. And as soon as you'd be like, nah, and I'll be like, okay, what just happened? High alert.
Kids, do you have one?
I have two.
Oh, nice.
Yes. And
Boys.
twice. No, the second time I was a lot more easier.
I mean, two boys.
Yes, two boys. I'm sorry. I thought you said twice. Did you have the same experience of not sleeping? But I was like, no. Second time I was a lot more experienced. Let's just say yes.
I mean,
but the reason why we really wanted to have the second child was because we didn't want to be the main show the whole time. And I didn't think it was fair for my son to not have a brother or sister, like, because I grew up, like, I'm one of 8, so I grew up in a family of brothers and sisters and like that. And so it was always like we had fun and we had a lot of, fighting and games and like that. So I said to my wife, we've got one and we need to have another one soon so they're close with their age. And now they're best friends, these two kids.
yeah, I heard that actually it's counterintuitive, but the more kids you have, the easier it gets after 2 or 3, because they help each other. When you're not there, they support each other in some.
Who told you this?
Is it true?
No,
No.
it's not true.
The more, the harder, right?
The more kids you have, the more people you have to bathe.
Yeah,
the more people you have to dress.
that's
The more
probably-
people you have to feed.
Yeah, that's probably right.
If you have like 15, then maybe having 16, number 16 is no problem because the first one is old enough to look after the last one.
Yeah, probably right.
But like 2, 3, you're doing a lot of work. So, but when you have kids, I'm glad you don't have kids at 29 because you're too young anyway. But when you do have kids, make sure you have at least 2, so you can they can be together with themselves and play with each other. And this experience of bonding and sharing is a really nice experience. So anyway, going back to your publishing the books and becoming more and more connected with your father in an indirect way. What's your father's name, by the way?
My father's name was Giulietto Chiesa. Giulietto means little Giulio. It's a weird name because I've never heard of it. I think no one has. And a lot of people think he was called Giulio, but his name was actually Giulietto, and he was very proud of it.
Juliet, as in Romeo and Juliet?
Yes, but Juliet is a feminine version, Giulietta, and Giulietto is with the final O in Italian.
Oh, so he had an O at the end.
Of course.
Giulietto.
Yes.
But he was called Giulietto.
No, Giulietto. Giulietto was his name on the passport. And
I just like his accent, so I'm pretending to not know, and so he keeps saying these Italian words.
Yeah, I
Giulietto.
have unmistakable Italian accent. You
can unmistakable.
2 kilometers distance, probably.
Yes, it's true. And what about your Russian? Does your Russian get infiltrated with your
No,
Italian?
Russian is perfect because I learned it when I was a kid. So I have a mother tongue in Russian.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful. So now you decided that you wanted to learn Transcendental Meditation. What were you going through? When was that?
And my father learned it also.
Really?
Yeah, I brought it in. It was not easy, but I managed to do it, and I'm very happy that now that he's gone, to know that he made it also. Yeah, what brought me in is an interesting story because when I was 20 years old, no, 19 years old, I got in love with a girl really much, but it was also not the easiest moment in my life because I was a professional pianist. I was going through a lot of emotions because I started very late. I was 16 when I started playing piano, and it's very late to start. People start
5
years old.
Oh, 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, 2, I don't know. 3, yes. I know my good friend Jacopo Giovannini, he was at the Queen Elizabeth competition recently. He started when he was 3. So I started very late, and it was not easy because everyone would say you would never make it to the conservatory. It's too difficult. It's a level that you could never reach when you start that late. But I was so passionate about music when I was 16 that I completely left everything else. I started just working on my music. I even skipped school. I skipped studying. I did study. I did finish my diploma, but I was not studying that much. I couldn't stand any minute that I was away from the music instrument, And I managed in 2.5 years, 3 years of hard study, like 8-10 hours a day, to get admitted into the most prestigious conservatory in the world, which is the Moscow Tchaikovsky Conservatory.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And there the experience was very tough because they are very tough teachers, and I got a lot of lacking parts in my playing. I was good. I was very good for a guy that studied 3 years, but I was still lacking some experience and some music reading skills and some things. So it was very, from a sunny Italian country to go into the dark and gray Russia with all these very strict teachers that would never give you a compliment and say that you're the worst of the world, even if you're admitted. 1,000 people from all the world, or even more, I think a few thousand, they go to the exam and they admit 15.
Yes.
So I got admitted. It was already, a medal, a gold medal for me. But then they started saying, no, you have to learn all from scratch. You have to relearn everything. And this stuff. So I was in love with this girl. I got accepted there. The world was falling on me. And then I quit the conservatory in Moscow and I came back to Italy to be with this girl.
Wow.
I really loved. And I came back to her. She broke up with me,
Wow.
I missed the opportunity of my life. I would call back my teachers to try to go back there, and they got offended because I left without saying anything.
Of course.
So
I would be very offended. You left for a girl and she dumped you? You couldn't communicate with her before leaving?
Yeah.
I'm going to drop my school. Should I come? And if she said yes, then you go. Then you don't. But you are being Romeo.
Yeah, exactly. And
You're being Romeo.
Like, for a young man, this is like the world fall apart. And so I fell into such a depression that
Yeah.
it was crippling. It's like if you have, I don't know, probably I hope that you have never been depressed, but I didn't imagine that it was so physical of an experience. It was not like just a psychological bad feeling. It was a physical bad feeling. It was like my heart was getting punched with a knife, and I had a knife deep in my heart all the time. It was painful. And after a while, my mother that saw that I was really, really in a bad condition. I couldn't study, I couldn't play, I couldn't do anything. I just was hopeless. She said, you should start meditating. There's a friend of mine who started this technique. It's pretty scientific, it's been studied. I was very convinced of being a smart guy, and God doesn't exist. God is an excuse for stupid people that they make up. And so the fact that it was scientific brought me to getting interested. I actually had some respect for meditation in general. I thought that people who meditate, they have some kind of control over the universe and some cool stuff that I wanted to learn. So when I heard meditation, I said, oh yeah, let's go. I went to the introductory lecture. It was full of people, maybe 20 people. Nowadays, it's not like this anymore, from what I see. And I
Yes,
said,
nowadays it's different because, after COVID, what happened, Lorenzo,
Yeah.
is people became homebound.
Yeah.
And so the introductory lectures, there's such a drag to leave the house and go
Yes,
to a
yeah.
session. And when I learned TM as well, it was in London, and it was like a group of people that were there. Now,
What year was it?
2010.
Mm.
And now people just join online. They're just like, I'm just going to join on Zoom.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyway, go on.
But we have lost something, because in person it's so different.
In person, I agree with you. I still offer introductory lectures in person once a week. And I do get a few people who are like, I'm sick of Zoom. I just can't look at Zoom. I'm going to come in. And that's great. But a lot of people are just like, no, I'm just going to do it at home. Anyway, go on. So you were in the room.
I was in the room with the teacher. She was a very good teacher, actually. She was an experienced teacher. She made this introductory lecture. I don't remember nothing about what she said. I just remember that I was looking at her like, oh my God, this is amazing. Are you joking? Like she was saying about the peace. She also spoke about the Maharishi effect, about creating peace with this meditation. And I was saying, this can't be right. Like this can't be right, because otherwise everyone would have known this. And so, like she said, are there any questions? And I was like, when can I start? And I was so enthusiastic. All the people, they were, someone was more sure, someone was not. And we tried to arrange a group, but they couldn't find a date. And I really wanted to do it so bad. I was saying, please, just, and she was touched by my desire to do it. And so she made a course just for me.
Wow.
So I got initiated by myself with her. And I remember it was the best experience. Like it was so liberating, for a depressed person that has this pain in his heart. I used to wake up with this pain all the time. And I used to go to sleep just to forget and wake up and with this pain. And when I meditated, it was like someone took away this knife from my heart for the first time. It was something, you can't explain it if you haven't tried it. It's like explaining the taste of chocolate. If you have not tasted it, you don't know. And I remember every time I was looking forward to the time to meditate again, because I couldn't wait to get this knife off again. Of course, it's not a day thing, You meditate one time and then you solve all your problems. But like the knife kept coming in after meditation. But it felt like every time it was coming in a bit less strongly. It was more light, less physical, until at some point it completely went away physically. There was still pain inside on a mental level, but my physical body was not feeling that pain anymore. And that's already a big goal. And then step by step, month by month, it completely disappeared. No, I mean, probably in a few months, my depression completely disappeared, and it turned around and started becoming bliss. And now that's reality that I'm living.
You know, this experience is so beautiful, Lorenzo. And what I want to say is that the experience of stress, when it's overwhelming, really attacks the physiology somewhere. And the heart has two values. One, it needs to pump blood. And the other one is to give us that experience of love and expansion and connectedness.
Absolutely.
And so there are two things that the heart does. And when the heart is hurt like that, you said it, it's physical. Now, what happens in Transcendental Meditation is we give the body a chance to heal itself. This healing happens, and that's because the brain goes in alpha. This alpha induces the physiology in deep rest. This deep rest lets the body heal itself. And so this healing, every time, you're practicing TM, you said it becomes a little lighter, the experience of the pain, like the sharp knife, going in the chest, it's lighter because the physiology is less stressed and more vital.
I know.
So that's a beautiful thing that, anyone could experience. It's not just because you had a heartbreak and you had this issue,
Of course.
Stresses can manifest in other ways as well. And so when we practice meditation, we're really allowing the body to go through that healing process.
Mustafa, what I noticed, because for me it was very easy to get hooked to meditation because it was in a very bad moment. And so I felt a radical difference, But I hear from some of my friends, because I have a good track record of people learning meditation because of my suggestions, even in person and someone from my interviews and online. And I see that a lot of people, they say, I'm already happy. My life is amazing. I'm happy. I don't need to meditate. But that is because they don't know how much happier they can get. There's no limit to that bliss. Like, you can get out of depression, but then after that, there are infinite levels of happiness that you could reach. This is why some people, they are more fortunate. Maybe they have their physiology is more adapted. It can keep up with more stress than some other people. Some people can't manage stress. They completely get out of their mind. Some people can manage incredible levels of stress and look normal from the outside. But all of these people, they can benefit from TM. Am I right?
Yeah, absolutely. Because you see, like you said, unless you have tried chocolate, you don't know what it tastes like.
Yeah.
And you can't say that, you know what, I'm not going to even try it because I already know what it tastes like, but you don't. You haven't had it before.
Exactly.
So just because people have had some kind of an experience of meditation, and maybe it worked, maybe it didn't work, then they're like, oh no, I've tried meditation, it's not going to work. And that's why we keep saying, I tell people, no, forget about the fact that you've done any meditation.
Yeah.
You try this, pretend it's not meditation.
Yeah.
It's a technique. It's a technique, you just try. And then when they try, they're like, oh my God, it's so easy.
Yeah.
And what's that silence? I never experienced that silence before. And you hear about this, all these people talking about, oh, life is like this, and there's this inner reservoir and this silence. And you always think, well, where is it? Like, where? It's already in there. And all you have to do is and it's instant.
I want to share with you a thought that I had a few days back while attending to this summit that we are in, building the future together. We're going to mention it for the ones that are listening. And I was thinking, whenever you go and you see these organizations where people meditate or do some kind of technique, sometimes they don't look like people who meditate. There's a lot of anger. People are fighting between each other, And that's how you judge. They say, Jesus Christ used to say that a master is judged by the fruits of his work. When you go to this summit, I've never seen in my life, in all the work conferences, summits, and places where I've been with big groups of people, I've never seen so cohesive. Can you say
cohesive? Yes.
Cohesive group with people from all around the world, and everyone looks shining. They're like the best version of themselves. You see them, you can see that they're happy inside. There's nothing missing. There's always room to improve, but they are much on a higher level of achievement, of consciousness, really. It doesn't matter what you do in your work. You can be a manager, you can be, but they're certainly more successful than than they would have been without this.
Absolutely. And this experience of this unity that is there. You see, people are somehow, everyone feels like they know each other. And that's because when we transcend, we experience that field that connects everyone.
Yeah.
And so that level of reality, which is your true authentic self, people are wondering, who am I? Where do I? So when you practice TM, you experience your authentic self, your true reality. And everyone, when they do it together, that experience is so blissful, so fulfilling, so nourishing. And then you come out and then you feel like the world is my family,
Yes, that's the principle behind world peace.
Yes.
Because how can you make peace if there's war inside you, if there's anger inside you? How can you spread love in the world? But that's also, I think, a question that a lot of people don't understand, especially in my field, where when I get speeches with people that are older and they're used to. My father, for example, also, he's a very smart man. He was very open, because he have met some people in his lifetime, also a very famous mystic called Gustavo Roll, who is very famous. I mean, he's not that famous today, but he was in the last century. Who knows him knows that he was an outstanding personality. He was a siddha, like for real. He had some powers. He transported objects. He made stuff fly from one room to the other with a lot of. He predicted the future multiple times with the perfect accuracy. He was a person that would defy the laws of nature as you knew them. My father was a communist. He was born in a very strict kind of environment with a worldview like this. And this kind of, exceptions like Gustavo Roll sparked the attention inside of him on this kind of reality, that there is more that we cannot see, that is real. So he never questioned that it could be real, the existence of Gustavo Roll. And so he got a son that was involved in this, and so he got involved a little bit, and then he learned. He learned just for me, not because he wanted.
Of course,
He said, I will do it if you pass this exam. I had a very important exam with the maximum vote. I will do. And I studied so much and I passed that exam. And so he had to do it. He went and he said, but don't expect me to meditate. I will do it just because I love you. I will do this course. But after he did the course, he continued to meditate.
Yes.
Because he liked it so much. He said, you're right. I mean, there's something real underlying all this. And what I wanted to say, that the people of his generation, his age, they're finding it difficult to understand, because they know the inner workings of politics. They say it's not, the governments are not that easy as you think it might be, as most people think. It's not like the president decides, all like you read in the school books. There are people with the black suits, that own big corporations and have a lot of billions that are worth more than presidents and entire countries. And they decide and they make the wars and they pay for the wars. And so people say, how can regular people meditating just get, by being more calm, they will not make the war? It's too simplistic. It's not like this world is much more complex. There are these economic powers that are moving, the chessboard, and that's all true. But they don't understand the concept of collective consciousness. Like, yes, there are some things happening on the surface. There are summits, there are treaties, peace treaties, war treaties happening that people are making. But underlying all that, there is this level that you mentioned that unites us all, right? And if you work on that level with the right technique, which this is, and the research has proven it, you work on this and you vibrate this field in an orderly way, you destroy the disorder. You need a little drop of order to destroy a whole ocean of disorder. So a small group of people just practicing these techniques in a place, they can affect that level, which then affects all these superficial levels, because they're like, it's a hierarchy. The more deeper there is the level, the more powerful it is. Look at an atom. You can split an atom and you can destroy a whole country.
Yes.
You know, it's how much power is inside that atom, and we are going deeper, much deeper than the atom. We are going to the level where everything changes. We're changing that level, and then these governments will change. The people over them will change. Nature will not support anymore that negative stuff, that war. This is what people don't understand, and they need to, because we need them to understand now. It's a very difficult time.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Now, that's all we have time for. I would love to continue talking with you, but we don't have time, and we are out of time, and I'm really grateful to you for coming.
Episode.
Yes, we can definitely have another episode, and we have more things to talk about. But for now, thank you for making the time to come on the program. It's a great joy to have you. And thank you for your attention and your time with us as well. This week was wonderful being with Lorenzo. And next week, I'll be back with another wonderful guest. Take care.